there's a couple things that I want to make sure go smoothly. So just to give you guys a heads up, um, and I want to know if this is gonna work for me. So I added I'm on my Mac, right, and I added uh, Windows to my Mac as well. So I'm running Windows at the same time in order to run a copy trader for futures on about 20 accounts. So I want to make sure that the stream can still run pretty smoothly. Right now, it looks like it's okay. Looks good. Doesn't seem to be having any problems. But that's what was taking me a little bit longer. I wanted to just double check to make sure all of that's going well. And then also, we just have just a smooth transition throughout everything in general. So yeah, that's all. That's how we got off to a later start. But let's go through these things. We had guys, honestly, I think we had a pretty great week. Who here was trading with me live Monday through Thursday? Let me know. Y chicos, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están todos? Bienvenidos. ¿Dónde está mi gente? Habla español. Díganme por aquí desde dónde se me están conectando todos. Aquí arrancamos un poquito tarde porque conecté mi computadora y ahora tengo corriendo como Windows y también Mac, iOS. Entonces tengo todo corriendo al mismo tiempo para utilizar un copy trader que estoy manejando unas 20 cuentas ahí. Entonces quiero asegurar que todo corra bien, pero aquí ya saben, solo aquí para confirmarles. What's up? We were on the sessions this week. All right, so fantastic. Amsterdam en la casa. What's up, Rafa? Gisla, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Hector, Carlos, Sergio, Friso. Good to see you guys. Joe, Solomon, Sonia. Solomon is such a badass name. Sonia, what's up? Storm, it's a crazy username, but let's go. Miguel, Alonzo, Zay, what's up? Z, Jesus, Gio, Pazao, Español, ahí están. Un abrazo. Colombia, Argentina, Amsterdam. Eso es todo. Bueno, chicos, arranquemos aquí. So, guys, I mean, yes, FOMC, basically, FOMC went down, and all of March was put into right position. Kogi, yo, what's up, man? It's been years. ¿Qué tal, Kogi? ¿Cómo estás? Hace mucho tiempo. So, yeah, we have a lot going on here, right? We have a lot going on, and let's make sure things keep rolling real nice and smooth around here. So, what we've seen so far, I mean, guys, we can really see we were able to make the most out of the market these last few days. So right now we're taking on liquidity. You can see it happening with NASDAQ, Dow Jones as well. I think we're about to go take out some of this liquidity as well. So a lot of bearishness. We did some work. So from FOMC, if you guys were plugging in with me live, we caught the NAS short for a nice almost about a little over 7.5 RR. And then yesterday morning we caught the indices buys, and we rode it all the way up to this imbalance, and then we took the NASDAQ sell above this liquidity. Entonces le hicimos un ping pong brutal, la venta, la compra, la venta, y aquí decidí no comprar por la divergencia, pero así es como vamos en estos momentos con esto. Entonces esto nos ayudó a recuperar muchísimo del mes. Forgot you're on YouTube. Yeah, let them know. Let the people know we're live on here today. For sure. Panamá, ¿qué tal? Samuel. What's up, Long? Use my sick day today from work. Nice. Medellín. Eso es todo. So yeah, right now, guys, we are seeing liquidity build up on NAS right here. We swept a whole bunch of it. a lot of sell-offs during a little bit before New York Open. We saw just a massive move here. You guys, if you check your fundamentals, you should see here we do have just Canadian dollar news. All right, Canadian dollar news here. So that's all you can really expect with the high impact news in general. Now that is a lot of movement. All right, so you might be asking yourself, why is there so much movement going on with indices so early? What is happening, right? And you can look at just normal like social media if you want to kind of get a better understanding, and sometimes there'll be a little bit of this and that to decide or to give a glimpse of everything. So I didn't really see anything unusual. We're just getting some volatility, and it was just time. It was time to liquidate. So if you held these sells from up here, you're feeling good right now. And yeah, it's been great. So let's see what positions we can have now. All right, let's see what can go our way today. See if is there an opportunity. So because there's liquidity that we're sitting at again, I'm not necessarily looking for buys on Nasdaq. Como hay liquidez aquí, no estoy buscando compras con Nasdaq para arrancar, nada como eso. If we look at Dow Jones right now is very similar, in which it's creating more liquidity as well. So there's a lot of retail buys all set up here. A lot of retail buys. So what I think we can get later on, not necessarily that we're going to get this right now, but what I think can happen here is I do think eventually we can get up to this level for shorts. So whether it's Dow or whether it's Nas, we can work our way up here for shorts. That's kind of the main idea. Now, obviously, I like going into detail with you guys before we take positions, but yeah, we really were able to ping pong. Basically, FOMC after that, we were just doing some great things here. Entonces, chicos, aquí rapidito, estamos aquí dejando mucha liquidez con Dow, con los 30, estamos creando mucha liquidez aquí con Nasdaq. Entonces no busco compras, no estoy buscando compras por estas áreas. Aquí yo me quedo quieto, tranquilito. And it's New York Open now. All right, guys. New York Open, la apertura de Nueva York, we can expect volatility. This is where, we're going to see things start to really push along. Entonces, con eso dicho, sí creo que cuando el mercado, si nos da retrocesos, podríamos tener ventas aquí arriba. Entonces yo esperaría para ver qué nos puede presentar aquí el mercado si es que llegamos hasta acá arriba hoy. So for this to happen today, I can tell you right now that it's possible. It is very possible for us to go all the way up, all the way down. We are in an extremely volatile range right now. This has just opened up and has become a massive zone. We have the potential to, within one day, swing about 500 points with Nasdaq now, and with Dow we have the potential to swing just about 700 points in a day. So that's why trading around these extremes have been great. Entonces tenemos mucho potencial, hay una volatilidad muy fuerte, entonces podemos ver movimientos de 500, 600, 700 puntos solo por estar aquí esperando en este rango. Ese es el tipo de volatilidad en el que tenemos, entonces hay que ser consciente. So with the way that this is moving, we should be seeing liquidity get swept here. With Dow, we're seeing it crack below. Nasdaq now slower in moving down. You see how much slower it is? Dow Jones now more bearish. Nasdaq a lot slower. Entonces estamos viendo que ahora se está moviendo aquí muy lento el mercado. Cuando cae Nasdaq se está bajando con menos intensidad. So because we have way less intensity, way less aggression on the sell side here for Nasdaq, what we can see is we can go zoom in to the past over here and think, is there a buy opportunity here somewhere that maybe we just didn't really see? And I'm looking at these big moves over here. I think we can get into a buy somewhere over here. And so let's zoom in a little more. Let's look and see if we can get some more detail from this zone. Entonces vamos a ir aquí. Queremos reconocer si hay movimientos que nos den por estas áreas. So as we look and just get some perspective on Nas, we saw a big pump here on Thursday last week, and then we start to build up, buyers, support. You kind of see it like arc here, and then you see a market stop, go up one more time, push, then go. So we have imbalance right here. We have this imbalance. We have this movement. So you see the market work its way down, rebalance here with Nasdaq. This isn't the best move just because we end up basically making equal lows again anyways. So honestly, buys are a little bit tricky in my opinion with indices in general. Indices in general right now, not my favorite. Even on the higher time frame, when we look at this almost looks like accumulation, but to me, we don't see a sweep before we shift this whole thing. I think everyone was getting excited and they're like, okay, it's game time. Where indices are ready to be on this bull run, and I think we're missing one more leg down still. So I'm gonna hold off on that. All right, so let's get another recap here. We're seeing Nasdaq start to move up a little bit, but look at Dow Jones now. Dow Jones kicked things off really bearish, but immediately started to flip things around. Entonces arrancó Dow Jones bien bajista, hizo un impulso hacia aquí abajo, lleno de imbalance, pero ahora está agarrando mucho impulso hacia arriba. So do we have equal lows over here? Do we have liquidity over here? Yes, we do. Right now, we're trading right back into New York open for Dow. Nasdaq still just choppy. In these types of market environments, I'm not looking to force anything around here. There's just not really any evidence that we have any decisions, right? At least for me, we don't see where, like, if you ask, the question you have to ask yourself is, where's retail money? Where is smart money? Those are the magical questions to ask yourself. Where is retail money? Where is smart money? Is there motive for price to push in one or the other direction right now? Right now, I think if we were going to get anything, it's going to be some sells up in this range. So to be prepared, I would be prepared for that, for selling in this range over here. You see the market start to sweep the highs, Thursday's London session and FOMC's highs. So this is where we could start to look for a lot more reversals, and honestly it would be around this zone. Market starts to push higher, stalls out, pushes higher. So around these areas is where I think we would want to get to some trading. And of course, we want to take advantage of this type of volatility, but there's no need to rush it. So here with NASDAQ, with Dow, we will have just some perspective, okay? Now I know there's other assets that are getting close to our zones right now, so let's go take a look at those. Let's go look at gold. Let's go look at silver. Gold here tanking, nice little meltdown. Now I had an interesting idea here on gold. Gold right here, we had a nice little move, nice little push during Asian to London. Had a little push down. The market rallies. So I'm curious if you can get a nice little play out of this zone. Some of you maybe are looking for buys right here. I am not. Aquí no busco compras. Yes, we sup liquidity, 100%. However, we struggled to make higher highs here. This really was not sustainable. So I don't think we're going to see much going on there. And then if you take a look at silver, silver is starting to push down. But honestly, silver is starting to push down pretty slow. So let's see what the market wants to do for us here. I could see a reversal here. Have your stop open a bit more. Because if you look at gold and silver, silver is dropping, but just not at the same level. Like, it's not the same aggression, not the same type of impact on the move down here with silver. You know, silver here, I feel like if it's gonna push down, it might just break below the previous lows here. Whereas gold's about to get to the zone. Which can play out of here. Is a nice little sell-off and rally. The only downside to this trade is what I'm telling you right now. So could we get rejections out of here? Yeah, you can get reversals out of this zone. So you guys want to mark that one up here. Been waiting a little bit for this one. And then this is basically at entry right now. So if you did want to have a position here, then you're gonna want to move like pretty fast. Make sure your stop is in the right place. You know what I mean? But yeah. So anyone take this position? Gold buys. Instantly reacting off the zone. Okay, so, and let me dive into this now. Instantly, guys, you should be up about 40 pips or so. Right here, right? Sup liquidity, rejecting. And then with this type of move, I don't know how many, I don't even know if you could have possibly taken this. It happened so fast. But yeah, instantly, guys, 50 pips. Already. Take your entry, move it to your stop, or take your stop, move it to your entry. Definitely needed to sleep a little more. But beautiful mitigation. Those of you that have been, plugging in with me live every day this week, you were ready for this one. We had alerts set up for this one all week. So fantastic entry. You're in. All right, perfect. So yes, move your stop to protect your entry though, because this just melted away and then instantly reacted. Now I know a lot of people they go, oh no, you don't want to. Do you want to get in front of a falling knife? I don't look at it like that. This is just where money's at. So that's what we do. Futuros, las gráficas de futuros son más precisas. Chicos, esta la compra de oro se dio muy rápida. Para los que pues operan conmigo de lunes a jueves, ya estaban preparados para estos. And yeah, so for this play, the stop was relatively tight. So you're looking at around 25. Let's just give it 30 pip max here. And then this has already reacted well over, I think it was about almost a 2R, give or take. A stop, move to break even, no need to be at risk anymore. And then yeah, so this traveled up over to here. The thing is, you can't guarantee that it's going to stay in your direction. Okay, so you want to give it life, let it breathe, let it do its thing. See if it wants to give you to keep going in the right momentum. It might not want to do that. So yeah, that's the trade right there. Okay. All right, who's still in this trade? What are you guys doing here? How are we feeling? Okay. All right, give me 1 second, guys. Setting up a position over here. Managing a couple things. All right. So here in this example, whoa. Let's see here. Okay, interesting. So right now I'm experimenting. Whoa, this thing needs to stop talking. I'm experimenting with this, doing some more trial runs, some test runs here with this copy trader on futures. So I'm taking some lighter positions to just cross-reference how it functions, make sure everything's running smoothly. I think this one went through nicely. Okay, yeah, that one's running okay. So anyways, we have the mitigation here. Obviously the market, reacts really well, reverses. Let's see whatever happens here. So this is already doing its thing. Worst case scenario, your stop is at your previous low, or you're already at break even, which is perfect. Now, let's look at some other setups. We were looking at USD JPY. Did anyone end up taking USD JPY, taking an entry a little bit higher than what I had done? So I had an entry right around here for the sell. Shorted USD JPY, bought 6J futures. So I had an entry higher. It did mitigate, so it closed out the buy position, and then it just melted. There was even, you could say like a re-entry here on the smaller time frame during London session. So obviously this is a little bit different compared to just how everything is moving along. But yeah, pretty good play. Didn't trigger me, unfortunately. But either way, I'm sure some of you guys like to trade. Some of you like to trade off of the open. So it might have been a nice setup for some of you guys over here. But cool. All right. So yeah, just kind of wanted to see how that one's looking for y'all over here. Okay, so yeah, this is kind of. So between trading a lot, this is a lot of accounts to manage at once while streaming. So we'll see. Either I get the hang of it, or might have to figure out a different type of system. So something interesting. You know how I had been talking about selling GBP USD for a long time, right? We wanted to trade out of elections here, the elections price action, and. This is so on currencies, it doesn't look like we quite mitigated, but after that contract switch on futures, something updated. I don't know, but yeah, we ended up getting into the zone. I like went over it again, and then it's like, oh wait, hold on, we actually did get into here during FOMC times, and so we definitely played out of the area, and you know exactly what we were looking for is how things went. So pretty interesting to see it all play out this way. Yeah, I'm really curious. There's a lot that I'm, even at this point, you know, I've been in the game almost 10 years, and between CFDs and futures and all that good stuff, it's just I'm learning so much more about the precision of different data and things like that. So I don't know, it's pretty interesting to see how different certain things can look just depending on where it is that you're looking at price. And obviously it matters. It really matters. So cool. With currencies right now, I think we have a lot of liquidity building up, so not doing too much over here. I think overall we have, you know, futures setting AUD USD here, setting up maybe later on. Obviously we're in bearish momentum, so sells are kind of a better position, especially like trading up here. Same thing with NZD USD up here. There is this move that I like with NZD USD, so 6N for futures, and we had a nice little sweep before the market rallied over here, and I think we could get back into the zone before we go again. So looking to see if we get something like this to play out here, soon. So curious to see how this one goes. So we'll take a look back at that if we need to, and then from there, let's see what else we got going on. Give me 1 second, guys. All right, so let's see, just organizing a little bit more here, going through. Yeah, so with gold, we had a reaction, and then we had and that's it. That's all it was. So we saw the reversal out of the zone. It went into profit, and then it came right back down. So what's really cool to see is you can see the exchange of money. You can see the exchange right here. Money goes in. That's why you get such an aggressive reversal. This is why I love how I manage my trade, because you see the exchange here. So money clearly goes in based on the way that it reacts. It doesn't mean it's going to go in your way forever, but it definitely does go in our direction here. We manage it accordingly, because if you do catch it and it continues to rally, then you just caught an amazing risk reward. Otherwise, no big deal. It comes back, you're stopped out, break even, ain't no thing. So just some perspective with the trade with something like this, right? Okay, so moving on, we can get back into what we were looking for. Cryptos are moving up, so that means indices probably started to do their thing to the upside too, huh? Or at least one of them. So Dow just squeezing in here. Dow is squeezing. This is building up retail sellers and retail buyers. So you got liquidity here, even more so. You have more liquidity over here as well. This is getting messy over here. Mucha liquidez aquí en Indices, con vendedores y compradores, un desastre por aquí. And with Nas kicking things off a bit more bullish, we're starting to see it, starting to push up a little faster, a little bit better. Honestly, it's interesting. I feel like all the Friday sessions I've been having have not been like the greatest price action. The last 3 or 4 that I've been live here have not been it just hasn't been the greatest price. So which is fine. But yeah, we'll see. I can't pick and choose when things are gonna look great and when things are not gonna look that good. So Nas picking up some speed. I wouldn't have participated in this anyways. Taking a buy, in my opinion, here would have just been luck rather than anything else in regards to how I trade. Now, if you're a support and resistance trader, then yeah, I mean that's an easy buy for you. So, what are we seeing? ¿Qué estamos viendo? Nasdaq naturally more bullish to kick things off. Nasdaq naturalmente más alcista para arrancar las cosas aquí. Dow does not want to go up at all. Like at all. It's struggling with that. So sells naturally, bearish pressure is way more in motion here with Dow. And then even Nas right now, Nas came up, played off of this order block, and then just worked its way right back down. So if we're gonna sell anything today, it's probably Nasdaq. I wonder if we could get this little small time frame, sweep of a high and sell off. It's a possibility. You just see a small little move here where we clear liquidity and then continue to the downside. There's a chance that you can get a little sell here. But the problem here is if you're gonna sell Nas, you're running against the momentum. Dow has way better sell positions. Because of how it's lagging behind. So, if anything, as of right now, I would be leaning more towards Dow for sells, and I'd be leaning for Nas towards buys. The problem with that, though, is that even with this push to the downside and continuation, you have all of this. You have all this liquidity. This is a disaster. Still in, but stop at break even. Mine don't look the same. What doesn't look the same? No, si ya mitigó no se entra. Alright. In CFDs it didn't drop the same. Oh, you guys are saying gold with CFDs and gold with futures happen in a different way, right? So gold is now getting here with CFDs, and then now it's reacting off of the CFDs price action. Interesting. So this one was actually delayed this time. So usually gold, or just in general, you have the futures price actually get there last, but I wouldn't take this still, just because you are seeing a big difference between gold with CFDs and gold with futures. From what I've been testing, gold with futures is the more precise option, and you guys saw it mitigate really well. So I mean, we can see, right? We can see maybe we do see a reversal. I'm not going to take it, but this is the difference. Look at how gold looks here with CFDs. Look at how gold looks with futures. Gold gave us a for sure mitigation here. Oro mitigó en la data de futuros. Ahorita en la data de CFDs es diferente. Ya apenas está llegando por aquí. Entonces yo personalmente no entraría en oro porque en mi opinión es más precisa la data ahí. Entonces ahí no estamos viendo bien. Entonces me preguntan sobre petróleo. So you guys are asking about oil. Yeah, we can take a look at oil. Let's see what's good with oil. Took a loss on oil on this yesterday. Veo una compra en petróleo en 5 minutos. ¿Qué sería esta? La captura y la continuación. ¿Esto es lo que ves? Okay, let's see. Yes? Alright, cool. So with oil, we started working our way down during yesterday's pre-New York session movement, and then New York open hit, and that was the low of the day for oil. New York open, and then we're off. So seeing the market here, we definitely see a very intentional sweep down and rally. So I definitely see the oil buys from this zone. Totally see it going down right over here. Aquí con petróleo, ¿verdad? Tenemos la captura, la caída. Esto aquí elimina compradores. Sale volando el mercado. Entonces mitigación por aquí tiene potencial. Y pudo mantener estructura muy bien todo el día ayer. Justo todavía estamos por encima del último alto. Entonces se ve bien. So, based on the way we're seeing structure here, on the 15-minute, this could play out. If we zoom out a little bit, we've been ranging with oil. Oil has been doing one of those things where it's like slowly filling this imbalance. So it just keeps kind of poking above, dropping, poking above, dropping, poking above, dropping. So I wonder if we'll still keep going higher into this imbalance. And this is one that we can wait for. So for oil, if you guys want to have this one marked up, feel free. Okay. I'll give you guys a little bit to just draw this one out. And I'm seeing gold is still just dropping, right? So, nice. This is why we stayed out of any idea with CFDs. I know you guys were asking about that. For me, just what didn't make sense. We already had seen the mitigation, so taking it again just did not seem to be the move, and look what happened. This thing just kept breaking through. So time and time again, I'm seeing that gold for futures, or futures data in general, is just better. And it's cool. Like, to me, it's like a relief. I'm like, oh, okay, this kind of explains a lot. This explains so many ideas that I just didn't really understand. Like, why did this fail? You know? So, yeah. So to kick things off here with New York Open, the reality is it hasn't been and for me, in my opinion, it's not really setting up for too much yet. It might be building up for something later, but as of right now, there's kind of not really a point to taking any positions, in my opinion. I think we're still seeing the development of the true direction of price for Dow or for NASDAQ. So I would rather stay on the sidelines than wait. Now going to the majors, we see a nice little move up here for AUD USD. However, what do you guys see here? Liquidity, right? If we take a look at the futures data feed for Australian futures, similar, right? You see the same thing. So you're gonna see liquidity here. So even though we had a nice little move up, it still made more liquidity. We could take a look at, man, I'm gonna do that for way too long. We could take a look at New Zealand dollar futures. This looks better. This looks better. You see it clear tons of liquidity. So you get that nice sweep right there. Clears that out. And right now we're starting to get below the previous low. So I would love for, if we can get some demand in here, some bearish structure, then we can look for sells here. So that's for New Zealand futures, which is NZD USD, basically same thing. AUD USD, in my opinion, it's been more bearish, but those equal highs, I'm not loving that at all. We could take a look at Euro. Euro over here, pumps up, but it's slower on the drop. We want that structure. Remember, we want to first know the structure of the market. Then you want to identify liquidity, identify where there's retail money sitting. From there, you want to identify if there's a liquidity capture, so order block, smart money move, institutional buys or sells, whatever you want to call it. Then you want to see if after that happens, you see an imbalance. That always helps, or if you have then a confirmation of structure and demand. So you want those things to unfold so that you can have more clarity. So of these four pairs, if I were to sell one of these, it looks to me like it would be NZD USD. Now AUD USD right now looks actually more bearish. However, with the liquidity here, I kind of just want to see how this one unfolds. So let's see how we eventually get to this zone. So marking this up for you guys. Maybe this happens. Maybe if this takes a bit longer, then that's even better. Like this playing out, let's say next week would be, I think, the most ideal scenario. I'm gonna have an alert and just see how it is that we get over to this area, and we'll see. Let me get into the chat. Let's see what's up, guys. What you guys got for me? Yeah, so right now things are happening and unfolding pretty slow. So you can ask any questions, see what you guys are looking for. I want to give you guys some perspective. Entonces, chicos, si tienen preguntas, este es tu momento para hacerlo aquí en el chat. Las cosas están un poco lentas aquí con los mercados. No se está desarrollando acción de precio de una manera súper orgánica todavía. Seguimos teniendo más movimiento bajista con Dow. En mi opinión, para mí no tengo entradas en nada de esto, y sigue un poco más alcista Nasdaq, pero también por liquidez, por motivos de liquidez, tampoco no me encantan las compras. Buen día, ¿cómo estás, Rosemary? I have oil DCF on my MetaTrader, but it seems to have broken the high like it did on futures. On my TradingView oil CFD did not actually break the highs. So you probably are looking at different data, different brokers, right? Different data feeds. So you want to make sure you're looking at ones that are similar, or you can just cross-reference a ton of them. But the futures data feed is going to be the most accurate, in my experience. La venta de oil de ayer, podrías ver y esperar cómo medís la mitigación. Esa simplemente no se dio, bro. Reaccionó con un punto de estructura, eso sí. O mitigó esta área. Entonces, mira, esto es lo que hizo. Reaccionó aquí. Esto sí hizo el cierre. Aquí, digamos, este movimiento subió, bajó, muy bien. Y de aquí siguió empujando. Yo lo que me imaginé que podría suceder era que pensé que podríamos tener un poco más de un impulso. Yo empecé a medir desde por acá, que fue la captura, desde temporalidad mayor, pero parece que en realidad el impulso fue un poco más pequeño. Por eso es que no nos dio el movimiento como queríamos y seguía subiendo. Entonces yo perdí en esta también. No creo que hiciste algo mal. Simplemente era... Así es el juego a veces. You said Dow is approaching New York Open from last Monday, right? Yeah, so we are getting actually a little bit closer to this zone, which we had marked up last Monday for Dow. Nas here, let's see, obviously has a different type of price, just structure in general. It's not really quite the same. We're looking at Dow, we can see a totally different type of environment. Right here was the low from Monday. If you look at Nas, it's just, it traded totally different, right? So we may get, if we get a super liquidity here on Nas, let's see how aggressive things start to go. You guys have seen it happen during a day. You have the price action start to switch. So let's say Dow has been super bearish for hours, and then all of a sudden you start to see it kind of slow down and pick up the pace of the upside, and then NASDAQ starts to be more bearish. So that happens all the time too. But definitely good thing to keep in mind here is that Dow could get into the New York Open from, actually I don't think this was New York Open, right? This was, I think it was the news event that swept the low and then rallied here. Yeah, so let me see here. I believe that was the case. Yeah. So this is a high impact news event that it would be mitigating. Right now, Dow is going below the lows that we saw for today. Meanwhile, Nas also dropping, but not with the same intensity. Dólar franco, posible compra, dólar caída, posible venta, ¿cómo las ves? Nice. Con fondeo, iniciando las pruebas de fondeo, ¿utilizas MetaTrader o existe alguna prueba de fondeo que funcione directo con TradingView? Con fondeo, sí. Con futuros tienes directamente con TradingView. Con CFDs no estoy seguro. ¿Por qué ahora ves? Man, he contestado esta pregunta muchas veces. Porque es más precisa con futuros. Es más precisa con futuros. Por eso. Ajá. So the way that things are moving now, right now we're back at equal lows. We're creating, this is the lows from Tuesday. So the way that things are looking now, I'm not yet sold on the idea of buying Dow. Just because Dow has been a absolute bear. It's a bear. It's just an unhinged bear. Bear. This thing is just dying. So, meanwhile, you have Nas chilling. So Dow is just melting away, losing it, and Nas is just like, oh, okay, yeah, I guess we'll work it way down a little bit. Canal de Tritopia, what is the Tritopia community in school? And I see one free and one paid. Yeah, so I was actually about to launch the free one, and then one, the stream crashed, but two, it was actually something, I think it was something good though. It was something useful because it did something interesting. It gave me awareness on something that I wanted to do before the free community launches. So yeah, there's one that's just for the paid members. So yeah, as you guys can see, and I like to go over these things because we just are getting such a big difference in how price is starting to move along. So when you see Dow drop, it drops aggressive, and Nas just is slower. And then now when we're seeing, now we're starting to see Dow Jones futures, right? We're starting to see Dow move up, and then could it be that it's starting to move up actually with more intensity? So if all of a sudden Dow is starting to be really bullish and Nasdaq is moving pretty slow on the way up, then now things maybe change and we could go for this position here on Dow in the future. So we'll just keep an eye out on how things go. ¿En qué momento crees que es el correcto para aumentar el RR? So he asked about when is it a good time to up your risk reward? When is it a good time to up your risk reward? So that's a good question. I'm going to answer it in Spanish and then I'll answer it in English, guys. Entonces, ¿cuándo es el mejor momento de aumentar tu riesgo de recompensa? La clave está en teniendo la data, chicos, entendiendo la información. Tú necesitas documentar todo, ¿verdad? Si tú vas a tener información de que cuando yo, digamos que operas, ya tienes 50 operaciones, ¿verdad? Tienes 50 ideas, 50 oportunidades, y de esas ideas le disparas y digamos tienes tu estrategia. Tú ahí vas revisando todas esas ideas, cada una independientemente, y vas viendo qué es lo que tú hiciste y cuál sería el mejor resultado de esa operación. Entonces, digamos, tu meta, quizás ahorita tu plan es salir en un 2RR, digamos. ¿Ok? Si tú después de documentar cada trade y ves, pues, sin embargo, si yo solo hubiera llevado esta y revisas todo, así puedes ver y haces es matemáticas, ¿verdad? Es estadísticas, pero quizás identificas, si hubiera salido en 2.5R con todas estas ideas, ¿será que le hubiera sacado más dinero? Y ahí tienes, te va a dar la evidencia ahí. Esa es la manera que puedes ir mejorando con esto. Pero usa tu evidencia, porque con tu estrategia es posible que ni necesites subir tu riesgo recompensa. Es posible que no es buena idea. Eso totalmente es una posibilidad. Por eso es que es bueno reconocer tu información, no solo como quién dice que subir tu riesgo recompensa te va a beneficiar, quizás ni te va a ayudar. Quizás tienes que bajar tu riesgo recompensa. Por eso tienes que ahí tomar esas cosas en cuenta cuando estás ahí comparando las cosas. So, me dejas saber si eso te ayuda a esta perspectiva. Con eso dicho, so yeah, guys, with the question with how do you know, like, okay, let me up my risk reward, let me go ahead and can I up my risk reward? Well, first you have to think about one thing. Why would you assume going up your risk reward is actually going to help you. It really could. It might not. And then two, it all has to do with your own trading. So basically, document your trades. If you're not documenting your trades, I have a trading journal you guys can use. You can use whatever. This is just a template that has worked for me and thousands of other people. But document your trades. Once you've documented your trades, then what you do is you basically cross-reference. So go through all of your setups one by one and then see, okay, what would have been the best case scenario here? So let's say right now you're at a 2R. That's your exit strategy. Okay? And then you go through your last, let's say 50 trades. And one by one. And you see, okay, what would have been the best case here? And you'll start to realize, like, oh, okay, actually, had I done 2.5R, I would have made more across the board. Maybe you would have missed a couple trades, but net, it would have been more than what you did do at 2R. And do that. Or if you're noticing that, your trade's going to profit, but you're not hitting take profit, then what you need to do, use my trading journal. What you need to do is, you may realize, actually, if I went down to 1.75R, I would be winning more often, and that actually would make me more profitable. It would give me a few extra risk rewards over the course of those 50 trades. So you want a good enough sample size, and then don't have any ego if going up or down with risk reward. It might be better for you to go down in risk reward. It just depends. And then as you get more and more in advance, then you can start to do things differently. It doesn't have to be fixed risk reward. It can just be based on the market. So for example, for me, I opened up my risk reward quite a bit this week because one, it's an FOMC week, and it's just a much more volatile market condition. So if I'm trading on the extremes, right, on the outskirts of structure, if we were limiting our risk reward, we wouldn't have caught massive trades. We wouldn't have caught huge buys and the huge sells and the huge buy. We would have missed out on a lot, right? So I do keep in mind market conditions, but that's only because I just have the experience to do that as well. I have, and then you guys, some of you have that, and some of you are developing it. So, and that's fine. How can I be part of the paid community? You can just fill out this form, and then I'll get back to you. Where is this one? I myself or someone will reach out to you. Someone on my team will reach out to you. I'm not taking students right away, but I may open this up very soon. So it's that form right there. Okay, and then so look at this. Look at how NAS now has been going up here a little bit, and look at Dow. Here's NAS, here's Dow. Dow is now starting to pick up a lot more momentum, right? Starting to get above the beginning of the hour, where NAS here is kind of slowing down. Seeing the difference? So we may just get Dow to be a bit more bullish compared to NAS, and then this buy that we were looking for down here might actually be a good setup now. Bro, ¿usas el VIX como guía para tus análisis o tienes algún punto de inflexión? El VIX, ¿qué es VIX? No sé, ni tengo idea qué es eso. Mike, estoy pensando crear cuenta propia. ¿Qué broker conoces para echarles un ojos? No les puedo compartir o recomendar brokers en este momento. Ok. Sí, sí, ahí está Daniel. Iniciando las pruebas de fondeo, ¿utilizas MetaTrader o existe? Sí, ya sé, la contesté. Sí, puedes utilizar MetaTrader. Ok. Ya depende de tus gustos, más que todo, en mi opinión. All right. So you guys asked about. So what I haven't gone over has been USD CAD, CHF, and USD JPY. And if nothing is really developing, I'll probably cut this one maybe a little bit shorter. We'll see. So we had a nice move here again on USD CAD. A little push up, market comes down. Okay, decent, decent. ¿En qué parte de tu proceso vas? ¿En qué crees que te falta más precisión? Pero para mí, no, la precisión la tengo. Eso no creo que es un problema mío. Es una buena pregunta. Para mí, el enfoque en que estoy desarrollando es cómo añadir a posiciones ya que van ganadoras, como que ya van en movimiento, ya mitigó y están buscando como para poder añadir a una posición ganadora. Creo que ese es el punto en que yo más que todo estoy trabajando. Precisión con mis trades, eso yo creo que es el punto más fuerte que tenemos. Lo que uno tiene que reconocer es que también, y esto es para muchos porque la mayoría no tiene tanto tiempo aquí en esto, y es que hay etapas en los mercados. Tienen momentos en que el mercado, digamos, con ciertas condiciones, tienes buen alto nivel de que se te dan las ideas. Por ejemplo, de diciembre a, digamos, tercera semana de febrero, teníamos ganancias del 80% de efectividad. Y después, el último mes, hemos bajado como a 50. Pero eso es normal. Para mí, me sucede en marzo, casi siempre. Entonces, es más la psicología de mantener esa calma. Siempre es lo que ayuda mucho. So he asked, in what part of my process am I in? Like, am I working on precision? Is there something I would look to be better at? And what I was saying was, I don't think precision for entries for me is really the problem. If anything, I think that's probably one of our strongest parts is the precision. I think stacking winners is something that I never really put too much energy into, which I know obviously that can really expand your risk reward. So it's more so from going from profitable to very, very, very profitable. And then as always, I think honestly, I just put more emphasis in scaling accounts. But yeah, if anything, if I could work on or even just to start to develop, it would be stacking. I just never did that because I didn't want to add risk. But you know, if there is a science to it, then I'm all ears. But to me, and one of the things I was saying was being able to get yourself into a place where you have awareness. Like for example, from December to like mid-February or the third week of February, we had a very high win rate, like right up over to around 80%, which was extremely high. And then we dropped down to, I'd say, below the average that I normally do at this moment, which I think we're on like a little, maybe like 55. So, which is still good, but obviously there's a big difference, and that difference in itself can make you kind of get in your own head but you need to understand that there's just certain moments or the market conditions or your ability to shift in market conditions make the difference. And for example, I noticed that it took me a little bit longer to go naturally more bearish on indices when things started to flip. So that was part of this process. In this example, I was like, oh, okay. Like, that's why I was like, why are we taking these losses? Or why aren't the winners really winning? They're going into profit, but they're not hitting. So, okay, how come? Why is that happening? So, when we do have those big shifts in overall momentum, I think that sometimes your expected return, your win rate can suffer a little bit while you transition. But the big thing is, don't panic in those moments, right? Don't, like, you lose more money panicking, getting emotional, getting impulsive, and if you're not managing your risk well when these moments happen, then you're done. So obviously you want to avoid that. Okay, good questions, guys. Oh, Nas really picking up speed now. Okay. Moving a little bit strongly. Yeah, this has been the worst trading. Like, this is the worst price action we've gotten all week. What are your thoughts on CFD and futures prop firms? Thank you for all you do. My thoughts on it. So obviously this is my opinion. I'm not here recommending. I'm not going to recommend specifics or anything like that. I think you need to look at them as, so you need to understand that they are one. Okay, so what's the reality? The reality is prop firms are in an unregulated environment. That's not good or bad, it just is. Which means that there's really not repercussions for the new ones. So, companies that have been around for a long time, yeah, cool. They've been around, like, you have companies that have paid out hundreds of millions now. So, okay, chances of you getting paid there, better. But the big thing you got to understand with those companies is, what are you actually getting? All right, what are you actually getting? So, for example, let's say that, and actually this will be fun. So this is going to be informative. So what do you actually get with, all right, what do you actually get with these firms? Entonces la pregunta es, ¿verdad? Mis pensamientos sobre las cuentas de fondeo. So what do you actually get? Now with some of these, and it depends if it's futures, if it's CFDs, these are going to be different outcomes. So I'll go over both. But with some, what do? You pay, I don't know, how much do they cost? The CFD ones? Like, what is funding pips cost? What are they, like 400, 500 for 100K? Something like that. I don't remember. Someone can let me know in the chat. 500 for 100K, 1,000 for 200K. Okay, so what do you pay? You pay 500, right? So pay 500 for a chance. All right, this is just for a chance. But what do you get? What do you get? Do you get 100K? No. You don't get 100K. What you get is 10K, because that's the drawdown. You actually get 10,000. This is I need to make this way smaller. Because this is what you can actually play with. This is the drawdown. So, is it worth it? Is it worth it? assuming that the business is going to function. Yeah, because you get what? You get 20x. So you get 20x your money if you pass and the company actually survives and pays you. So that's pretty great. That's a pretty decent opportunity. Now you have other ones where you pay I don't know, 30. Actually, you pay for, like, for example, for futures, you pay like $30 or whatever, $40 to do it, and then you have to pay again to activate it, and then there's a monthly subscription, like you have to pay every month. So let's say you pass and you have to activate it. So let's say that's going to be 50. Let's say it's $100, right? You pass and activate 100, and then but what do you get? Well, if you did that, then it depends on what account you get. So 375 for 150, trading down to 5K. That's honestly, bro, that's actually pretty overpriced. You can do that for way less. Okay, you can do that for less. So here, let's say you pay 100. Now remember, because you pay to do it and then you pay to start it once you get funded, whatever. But I want you guys, again, this isn't a recommendation. I just need you to understand, right? This is just like reality. What is it, right? These are companies. They can go broke. They are unregulated. So there are risks. It's just the reality. So with the CFD ones, you do have a kind of a 20x potential. Now let's say with the futures ones, you pay 100. There is benefit, like the other upside here is you have just regulated data feeds, so there is a difference. They don't really have payout issues too much. Like, it's not really a thing that companies are they don't just disappear for futures for whatever reasons. So anyways, you pay 100. That maybe gives you access to, I don't know, 2,500. It maybe gives you access to 3,000. Just depends on the account size. But let's say on average, you're gonna get access to like 2,500 here or something like that if you're trading. So you actually get 2,500. So here you actually get 110K, not 100,000. So they make it seem like you have a giant account, but you really are just working with the drawdown. The drawdown available to you. Sure, margin, but like you can do whatever with margin. So here, all right. Now the other version, right? You pay 100, you actually get 2,500, not 50,000. Similar thing, right? You're really just working with the drawdown. So, worth it? Yes, definitely can be worth it. But you have to understand, 1, this is not your money. 2, it's simulated. 3, it's just, it's not for sure. So at the end of the day, I would say what is really the best bet, like what long term, if you want to, you're here to make money as a trader. That's the whole point, right? You're here to make money as a trader. However, you want to make sure that you, 1, get the money, and 2, keep the money. So having your money be yours, so be in your broker, be in your accounts, is what you want to do. So definitely leverage these if that makes sense to you. And I'm not recommending any companies or anything like that. Obviously there's no affiliate links or anything, but look at this as a business. So what am I as an investment? What am I investing? What can I get out of this? So yes, it's in building up your leverage and what you have available to you. It's great, right? You could put $100 in your broker, That's one option. You can put $100 and then put your skills up to the test, and then get access to more. Cool. These are options. These are all exist. You can diversify your portfolio, but when you look at it like this, it's pretty cool. So yeah, I'd say use the tools, use the resources that are available to you. This is básicamente, chicos, lo que decían. Just guys, give me a quick minute to translate this real quick. It'll take a minute. Me preguntan sobre los fondeos y cuál es la diferencia o si vale la pena, y depende de si son CFDs o futuros, pero igual tienen que entender que son negocios, se pueden ir en quiebre, no son regulados, hay riesgos, pero obviamente hay evidencia que sí pagan. Cuando pagas $500 para una cuenta de 100,000, no recibes 100, realmente recibes 10,000. Eso es con lo que el drawdown, solo eso que está disponible. Entonces sí, obviamente recibes mucho más de lo que tú pones, vale la pena. Igual con futuros. Pero hay que entender que al final del día estamos aquí por ese dinero, sí, pero tener acceso a nuestro dinero. Entonces, si ganas con este dinero, es importante también trabajar tu propia cuenta propia. So, hopefully that makes sense and just gives you some perspective on it. Again, my point really is for you guys to just, the whole point of breaking that down is so that you have a different mindset with how you see money and trading, how you look at risk and reward, because that is a risk and reward trade. It's like that kind of is a 20R, 25R. So is it worth taking? Yeah, I think it's worth taking. So I think 20Rs, 25Rs are worth taking if the probabilities show that they're worth taking. Do you know what I mean? Like, do you think you're capable of doing that? And then you answer your question. So anyways, guys, we have futures here, big chilling, Dow indices chilling, not much going on there. The only idea that was kind of close to something was the Mexican peso, which has successfully escaped me once again. So that's it. Chilling. Big chilling. With currencies, we're looking at, right, AU, NZD, USD. It's looking more and more like NZD, USD might be a good play. This next week, potential. That's it. And that's all we got here, folks. Let's see. Gold ended up bouncing eventually here off of something. Either way, I was done with this idea. Looks like it started to play off a little bit off of this big sell-off here. Liquidity, so I was chilling. No need for positions for me on that end. Silver. Oh, I didn't see that. Okay. Either way. So that's it. That's all, folks. Natural gas maybe gets up here. See a little short. Cool. All right. Leave it at that. Between crypto here, Bitcoin might have a decent play. All right, Bitcoin might have a decent buy over here. You guys can take a look at this, do your homework, go check it out. Yeah, good session. Honestly, guys, like, I'll be lying if I say I'm not a little disappointed, because I feel like every Friday session I've done here I've gotten shitty price action. Like, I don't even get a chance. Monday through Thursdays have definitely been so much better. I think we like collectively saw about like 15R just between FOMC and Thursday. So the last 2 days were fucking amazing. And then these have just been chilling, super mellow. not much going on, but that is trading, guys. And I guess in a way it's okay, because this is how it goes. This is just the truth. Like, there are days where you're going to be taking shots at the market. Oh, I guess we did trade gold, right? We saw about 50, 60 pips on gold, about 2R on gold. If you exited, I didn't, or anything like that. I don't know if some of you did, but so I guess, yeah, we saw a little bit of gold. So maybe some of you made some money today. But either way, it's been good. It's been cool. If you guys have some, if you guys have, enjoyed it, like, subscribe, whatever, do all that good stuff. And I appreciate you guys just for being on. Let's see if next week we have better opportunities. But the Monday sessions that I do in the evening, that one did set us up for a couple plays. So you go ahead and check that out. I think I'm gonna drop a video today on a NASDAQ trade we took a couple weeks back here live. That one was a good one. And then go from there. I think that our first one was pretty fire. So I'll drop that here in a little bit. And I did drop a video, I think, on Sunday, if you guys didn't see it, for psychology. So yeah, check that one out. Appreciate y'all. And then this Sunday I am dropping another psychology video for you guys, and we got the newsletter as well. So if you guys don't have the newsletter, where I drop mainly psychology, trading psychology, then you are definitely missing out. I'm just gonna go ahead and say that right there. So you do not want to miss out on that. But I'll go ahead and drop it right here for you guys, so you guys can get it directly to your email. Here we go. Learned a lot. That's what it's all about. That's what it's all about. Well, yeah, here's homework for you guys. Go through your trading journal today. If you're done trading, or if there's anything else happens, go through it. Check it out. Make sure that you're actually reflecting on everything that you've done, and not just in this trader's rat race either, right? Trading journal Notion has been a game changer for the last 3 years. I love that. Hell yeah. You got it. All right, guys. Take care. Much love. I'll see you all. Check out the video that drops on Sunday. Otherwise, I'll see you Monday evening. Peace.